Well, I'm Lieutenant General N.K. Parmar. I'm presently engaged as the CEO of Apollo Hospitals in Karnataka region. And I come with a background of serving in the Armed Forces Medical Services for over 4 decades, where I retired in 2010 as the Director General of the Armed Forces Medical Services. Starting my career as a young medical officer and exposed to the ground level working of healthcare settings, and my take home from the armed forces was a very structured training. I was groomed to perform my duties, told what is to be done, where it is to be done, what is the process, what are the equipment availability. We have experienced that we have a standardized care available. Each hospital is prescribed its accommodation, its equipment base, its drug, its inventories, its staffing levels. The biggest gain that have seen from the armed forces is the standard of training of the paramedical, nursing and doctors at various levels. So continuous training and refinement of skills. Then nowhere the paramedical staff is trained for over 5 years. That has happened in the armed forces. So we have a support base, we have a monitoring structure, all process and procedure defined, and a different level of care has been prescribed, that everything cannot be done at every level because we are spread pan India and from a small nook and corner to the central place like Delhi or Bombay. So everywhere the standard of care is prescribed, what you are able to do it, and then you depend on an echelon concept. You go to the next level. If you cannot deliver this care, you send the patient to the next level of hospital where his requirements will be taken care of, or maybe he goes up to a tertiary level. And armed forces is unique that way. A specialist can be flown to a place to attend to a casualty if it is required, or a patient can be flown by its own resources to a place where he can be finally treated. So my take home from the armed forces is that we are a pan-India organization with a lot of standardization in terms of equipment, in terms of facility, in terms of training, in terms of processes, and in terms of the entire mechanism of monitoring, supervising and reporting, which is periodically inspected by all concerned to prepare ourselves for any eventuality. So that's the take home that I have. No. The entry in the civil side has been a little smoother in the sense that what I gained my experience of 4 decades in the armed forces, not only in the armed forces but also as a part of the my residentship in All India Institute of Medical Sciences is told me all the ethos of the service that exists in the civil side as well as military side. So I have this take that if you are sensitive to your environment in which you are working, and you know that what are the characteristics of this environment in which you are put into, if you understand the milieu right and the working ethos of that organization, you can adopt and change yourself to carry forward the healthcare assignment that you are being given. The one thing that I have realized and I have been practicing is that you have to take your team along. You've got to be collaborative, you've got to be cooperative, you've got to be transparent, and you got to demonstrate your integrity and loyalty to the organization. And if you have a team building abilities with you, you can carry the people along. I have had no such issue that I have built a team, and wherever I have been posted or are given assignment and responsibilities, I have been able to build a team there. If you are sincere in your approach to build your team and really perform as a well-oiled machinery. So I have faced no hassles or issues. I come with a background of writing 2 theses on the disaster management. One is during my master's course at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, which I wrote on a disaster management plan for Delhi metropolis. And then as a National Defence College course on strategic management, I have seen it from the national perspective. That our preparedness before the emergence of NDMA was absolutely frugal, and I have analyzed many of the past disasters, whether Bhopal, whether Qutub tragedy, oleum gas plant leak, and all other tragedies that I have analyzed. We were found wanting in many of the factors. Our after the emergence of NDMA, semblance of a structure has been provided to the country, that what is the role and responsibility of at the national level, what will be the role and responsibilities linked to the state level, and how the state level should transit its preparedness up to the state level, the city level, and how multiple coordination within the city. If there are 7 hospitals, who will do what responsibility, how it will be coordinated. Unless we have achieved this coordination, inventorying of all the resources that is available to us, and then finally the NDMA has a detailed plan of authority, responsibility, structure that has been spelled out, but unless we practice, it cannot be delivered actually when the disaster happens. Practice is escapable part of it. We have to plan the drills very regularly, involving not only the relief providers but also the people. Unless people become part of your disaster management drill, you cannot succeed. And that's what is as the armed forces, when we were asked, we had prepared our stores strategically placed. We have a designated team. We have all the SOPs in place. We even prepared ourselves to work in inclement weather, rain environment. We have all the precautions taken. We will run our own light. We will have our own RO plant to generate water. We have everything conceived, and learning has been input into it. In 4 hours, we were able to provide relief to any place in the Armed Forces Medical Services. We've been sent internationally a number of times, and we have delivered the care. It has been acknowledged by the Government of India many times that we were able to meet the responses, what is required from the armed forces, the first responder to reach nationally or internationally. So the preparedness is of highest level, and it requires that we refocus not only at the central level, but every state, every city has to focus, and medical management, because each of the disaster will have a medical consequences. And unless the medical fraternity come together and say that we designate the team, who will respond first, what are the stores kept, where the tertiary care will be taken place. I remember the case where in Delhi, that all cases came to All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and it took 48 hours to finish all the cases, where if they could have gone to somewhere else, it could have been attended earlier. So we have to have a designated responsibility initialed, that everyone, that you will do primary health care, you will do secondary health care, and will do tertiary care. So normally all other cases comes firstly to the hospital, system is jammed, and when actually the complex cases come, we don't have bed available. So the zonalization of responsibility within the city is an inescapable requirement, and our preparedness has to percolate to the last person in the state. Then only we can come out against all the chaos, which is it. We should not suffer from delusion of personal invincibility. It is called, it's known as, that we are always said disaster will happen to somebody else and not to me. We have to come out of that cliche of that personal invincibility and participate as the part of a responsible person to contribute to the disaster management.